ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get draped in gold, baby. I need a standard introduction to this show, but that's what we're going with today. I'm Jack Farmer, being joined, as always, by Flobo Boyce, the professional Flobo. How you feeling on this Wednesday?
Hey, yes is kind of the standard greeting, right? That counts. That counts for something. No, I'm good, man. It's another week of wrestling. It always feels like there's more and more stuff coming down the pipe, so I'm so glad to be with you to break it all down.
Remember like 6 years ago when we were like, man, you know, their wrestling news someday it'll dry up. We won't have anything to talk about. And here we are 6 years later, still waiting for that dry bucket to show up.
What a colorful image. A dried bucket. But I hear you. I do feel like every week there's a new PLE or pay-per-view or a news breaking that's monumental. Like, it's cool. I like the fact that, you know, we can actually have a show, because 10 years ago only losers had podcasts.
We got Dylan Matthews in the chat, the antithesis of a loser. Dylan, good to see you, pal. I feel like it's been a very long time. Appreciate you rolling through. Got KOD back in the chat as well as Zach Minger. Thank you so much for being here.
Teddy went to work in school.
Appreciate y'all coming through. It's gonna be a very fun show. We're gonna be doing our Crown Jewel predictions at the very end here. Dylan Matthews says, I am a loser. Yes, Dylan, we're pro wrestling fans. We all are. But we got Crown Jewel predictions. Also going to be chatting about best overall tag teams. So everyone in the chat, everyone in the comments, let us know your top 3 tag teams. That's going to be a discussion that comes up in a little bit. This is the number 1, the American Announce Table, for those of you who've been around since the beginning. We're going to chat about all that stuff. But before we do, like, comment, share, subscribe, 5-star review. Leave us a little comment on Apple while you're there. All that good stuff. Throw in the chats. Throw in the super chats while you're there.
Yeah.
Speaking about making more money than you thought you were going to. By the way,
what? We never make any money doing this, but
not this weekend. So you enjoy that 5 a.m. watch time sucker.
Oh, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. for Perth. It's Western Australia. Maybe Melbourne, maybe Sydney, but Perth? Hell no. When I get up, it's when I'm watching it.
Yeah, I do. Massive heat on Mondays, and we were chatting with the guys about typically we go on right after Raw, and because Raw is going to be here, it's going at 5 a.m. right? Yeah, we're not doing it right after Raw, fellas.
That 7:30 a.m. podcast.
Yeah, unless you want me to not know anything about what went down on Raw, and you're going to be wiping crusties from my eyes.
Is that what you call them? Crusties?
I call them eye boogers.
Hey!
What do you call them?
I know, I thought Krusty, like Krusty the Clown. Like, hey!
What do you call the little stuff in your eyes when you wake up? What do you call them, Flobo?
I guess I call them crust, but my mom would call them coal. Like, not cold, but coal.
Coal? Is that a translation thing, or what is
no it? like COAL, like coal, like the rock.
I see, like you get if you're a bad kid on Christmas.
I've never had that problem.
Yeah, neither have I've always been good. The Samoan Watchman coming through as well. Whoa, we got everyone rolling through today. What a nice day. Dylan says eye crust. That's a good name for it. I'll take that. Gotta admit, Flobo, coal just doesn't have the ring to it.
The moms are not the coolest with naming stuff.
That's true. Is that a thing from like the Caribbean? Is that what people from the Caribbean call it?
I guess my family does, but I would never go on the limb and be like, oh, everyone says this.
Okay.
She goes, my family say you got coal in your eye, right? So
okay. Oh, I see. I didn't know if it was one of those things where, like, you know, you see like those maps where it's like people here call it Coke, people here call it soda, people here call it.
Are you a pop guy? I don't know.
I have always called it Coke, whether it's Pepsi, whether it's, you know, Mountain Dew, whatever. I'd be like, we have Coke. I've slowly started changing to like soda, just because that's what the world says. But growing up, it was always like a carbonated beverage was Coke.
Yeah, I'm also a soda guy, but
yeah. I don't know if he's a soda guy, but Santos Escobar had an interesting week. He said he was departing the WWE. He was posting cryptic tweets said, I am done with it. I'm out of here. He didn't say those words at all, but that's my interpretation. They said that
We're not journalists. He didn't say this, but this is what we're going to say.
Do not take anything said on this show as news at all.
Fair enough.
So nothing we say on this show is accurate. Anything accurate stated on this show is a coincidence.
Right.
But so he was done. He was out. And then WWE says, wait a minute, before you go, here's more money and better creative. That's what the news sites are saying, Flobo. Yeah. Santos Escobar, How you feeling about your boy Legado del Fantasma?
You know what? Get the bag, as the kids say. I mean, look, everyone says go bet on yourself, and he didn't have to go to Japan to do it. You know what I mean? Like, he could have stayed with there and said, I'm okay. I was going to have this whole diatribe planned out and said a couple of years ago, he looked like he was going to be the face of Lucha. He was at the WrestleMania LA launch party, and he kind of fell off. But if you got the bag and not a guarantee, but at least a guide of what your creative is going to be, then that's the best possible position ever. WWE needs content, man. That guy looks like $1 million. It's great.
We have discussed whether or not, he's the future of Lucha Libre, what he means to Lucha Libre, what he means to different parts of the card in WWE. But I think you phrased it best in the sense that he's bigger and better than Cody Rhodes, because when he bet on himself, you're right. He didn't have to leave. He didn't have to build his own company.
I did not say that.
To get wanted. Flobo Boyce, everyone quote it and send it out on social media. Santos Escobar, a bigger deal than Cody Rhodes ever.
You are a terrible journalist. I literally did not say that at all.
Have you seen the news, Flobo? I'd be a great journalist.
Yeah, why not? Sources say, but I could be wrong, though. Buy my newsletter.
I'm just asking questions. That's all.
Right? Oh, no. Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm just asking questions, But
wait, are you a fan of the deal? I know Santos Escobar was a fantastic talent, but he was kind of getting lost in the shuffle. Like, are you excited to see this? Or are you kind of like, eh?
I'm excited for him. I mean, obviously, we have to see what this means for his time on television, but I was always a big fan of his. I think he's got style. I think that he's good in the ring. I enjoy him on the microphone. I think he's someone that could lead a stable. I think he could be on his own. I think at this point in his career, I'd kind of like to see him on his own, because I think he's done the leader of a stable thing for a long time and needs to freshen things up a bit. But I'm a big Santos Escobar fan. And I think this is great, not just for him, that betting on yourself, but this is, again, we've talked about it in the past, the power of having options as a pro wrestler. Because frankly, if there was no AEW, as we've said before, there's no way this would have paid off for him, right? He kind of would have had to say, I'll take what you give me, or I'm going to go to TNA, which is basically WWE, or AAA, which is WWE, maybe CMLL or New Japan. But really, that marketing or that bargaining power would be so much less without the opportunities that are afforded these days in pro wrestling. That's one of the reasons why it's so good to have these different options. But yeah, I'm a big Santos Escobar fan. Everyone in the chat, everyone in the comments, let us know where you stand on Santos Escobar. I'd love to see him. I think in the next year or two, I could see him in a U.S. champion, Intercontinental Championship role.
A year from now? Not now? He challenged for it like 6 months ago. Remember him and Carmelo had a best of 25?
Was that was Andrade?
No, that was Santos. It was before Andrade.
Well,
the actual best of seven was Andrade and Carmelo. But before Andrade came back to SmackDown, Santos and Carmelo went back and forth over that title.
Yeah. Like they had a best of seven. Well, the actual best of seven.
Yeah, because I was going to say best of a million. It felt like SmackDown kept running things back forever. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, it was just, yeah.
I mean, I think you have to build them up a little bit. I don't like the idea of someone being off TV for a long time and then suddenly being in a championship picture. I like to see people get built to that. So I'd like to see him do some stuff and become that credible wrestler so that when he wins it, it doesn't feel like, oh, he signed a new contract. Now he's in the championship picture. I want to see him get some wins, get on a roll, get some momentum going, and reestablish the character he's going to be in this case.
I'm with you in reestablishing, but you know what? Momentum is overrated. Because last year, look at the U.S. champion now, just squashing everybody and not giving anyone momentum. But I bet he's the guy with the title. So,
well, Santos Escobar, good things for
whoa!
him.
I just clowned your boy. You're not going to defend the fact that I made fun of Sami Zayn?
When is Sami Zayn? But you're the one that's obsessed with ska music.
You know what? I am not obsessed. I think it's awful. And Spooge is superior, by the way.
Well, feel free to get your trombone out the next time you want to say something and play those ska
I own no such
beats.
thing.
Blah, blah, blah.
I swear.
The brass band and Flobo Boyce, the brass band.
Probably the biggest scandals that I have a ska band somewhere. Don't look at me.
Something that's been a real treat as of late on Monday Night Raw. I wanted to talk to you and get your thoughts on, and I want everyone's thoughts on this because this has been really cool to see. Asuka and Io Sky have been going through a lot of things. Now, at first, you say Kyrie, it started off with something that was a little silly. I love Asuka just like Kyrie, like at Kyrie saying, but we're starting to see some real emotion, some real story. And I want your thoughts on Asuka versus Io.
It's funny that there's 2 women's singles championships, or 3 if you count the tag team straps. And this one's here is the most compelling women's storyline on all brands, right? It feels, and I'm not saying it because the players in the storyline is Japanese, but it seems very much like anime in structure, where it's like, we have a family. You are a part of our family. No, I am not. I am trying to have the fighting spirit. And it's the perfect thing for Raw. And I was alluding to this on social media a couple weeks ago that the storylines are becoming a bit more whimsical on Raw. We're going back to the child-based things with like superpowers and like I stole your shoes, you know what I mean? But like I just love this, man, because it definitely fits Asuka. She doesn't have to be anything she's not. Kyrie gets some play. I felt like her return, she's kind of been in the background of all of her stables. We all know Io Sky can go. I think this is way more interesting than what my girl Bailey is doing right now with the IC title division. So props to everyone that involved in that one over there.
I think what's really special about this too is I think it's proving something, and that is that, let's be frank, the people involved in this are people who have for years, we've been told can't have in-depth stories because of language barriers and things like that, where I think what they're proving to us now is that that's not true. You can't have stories even if someone isn't speaking super perfect English. I mean, you can understand all of them. None of them speak in a way that like I don't understand what they're saying. But I think clearly that idea that has really been a part of pro wrestling for as long as I can remember, that if English isn't your first language, then you just can't have a big, really in-depth story. This proves it wrong because every single person in this story outside of Rhea Ripley, and we'll talk about her involvement when we get into the Crown Jewel predictions, English is their second language. But I understand the story, and to your point, I like the anime comparison because it's very dramatic too. I love how sort of over the top they're not just like, when you think back to the Bloodline, oh, but we're family. But I like this one is like almost like crying about it every time. We're family, very anime-esque. And it's I think I love that even the mist seems to be over dramatic at this point, where it feels like for years they'd get misted and it'd just be a little bit on their face. Sometimes it wouldn't even be that much. Where now they get misted and like their entire body looks like it's mist. I don't know what Asuka's been doing, but man, her mist is on a different level.
Going to that mist gym. When Rhea Ripley got sprayed, it looked like she would turn to a timeless Toni Storm. It was like that black. It was like that blue or black. But no, right. I think you hit the nail on the head. I know we talk about characters in the show a lot because I'm a character guy, but I do think that is the credit to where wrestling is. 20 years ago, you had to adapt these characters to fit wrestling audience. And I know 20 years ago sounds like for us like the 80s, but I mean like in 2005, somebody like Yoshitatsu, which I really loved when he was on WWECW, which is a guy who's put his fist up in the camera and bow, and that was just kind of like understood. That was the depth of his character. But now you can have fear, you can have joy, you can have anger, and not worry about the language barrier because the show is international. The show is on a bigger platform. There are subtitles now, and the populace are allowed to read them, or they're more open to reading them. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff for them. I'm very excited for them, and I hope that opens up more things, especially as we're bringing in more luchadors from AAA, as well as it seems like more people are going to be coming in from Japan. And so I'm loving this. I think it's really one of the more understated or underappreciated or under talked about, I don't know, things going on in pro wrestling right now. So really glad to see how that's going, and I hope they continue to do some good stuff with it. As that is beginning, it's time to talk about the end. And that
Oh
end
no, we're canceled again.
is, man, like Futurama. We get canceled every 3 weeks and we come back on a different channel.
Yeah, what are we doing?
John Cena, last match is coming up, Flobo.
Mm-hmm.
Has to happen eventually. And, you know, when he said he had 1 year left, it felt like, oh my God, that's a lot of time. And suddenly we're down to the wire. News is breaking. The story's being said that it looks like the final opponent has been chosen, though not on TV. They haven't said, but so far it looks like the dirt sheet reporters, who we constantly make fun of for being wrong, but we always talk about what they have to say that it's going to be Gunther.
What?
My question to you now, how they get there sounds like it's still up in the air. There might be a tournament of some kind. Is Gunther the guy? If you're in WWE, last match for John Cena, is Gunther the person that you want ending the career of John Cena?
It's a safe choice. I think Gunther's one of the few guys who is tall, formidable, young enough to use that for the next 5 or 10 years, without necessarily giving it to a rookie. It's a safe choice because Gunther's already made. Like it's been offset. 80% of his run in WWE, he's held some gold. So he doesn't really need the bump at this point. He's a kind of a guy that you can like perpetually reheat. Not comparing him to Big Show or Braun Strowman, but much like how those guys were on the roster, we just need a big man or you just need to have a hot match. You just bring him out and say, you people suck, and that's it. That's all you need. I'm on board. John Cena's at a point now where he can wrestle anybody and it sells tickets. It's not a bad choice. I see the posters. Maybe not my choice, but I do think it works.
Who would be your choice, out of curiosity?
The young OG, Javon Evans. Let's go. Pass that torch fully. If you're going to do pass the torch to the next generation. The guy is 21 years old who literally didn't know what a Sega Genesis was, Javon Evans.
You sure that's not too heavy-handed? I mean, having someone that young, like, it's a little like, does it work if we all know that all you're doing is trying to have a young guy get this moment?
Listen, I understand how wrestling fans will complain, but think about it. I want you to really think about the past 25 years of those who retired other people. Does it really make sense in the long run? Does Matt Cardona go, I retired Tommy Dreamer in ECW? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Does Baron Corbin go like, I retired Kurt Angle? It's like, it's a fun footnote, but it's not really a big deal. If you're John Cena and you give everything to the business, the one thing you want to do is set the next generation. If you're John Cena, why not do it to a guy who's one of the hottest actors in NXT?
Someone Watchman says, oh my God, someone doesn't know what a Genesis is. Yes, Javon Watchman. Javon Evans, because we are all old. Very old.
We actually are one of the few people that are actually older than Sonic the Hedgehog, if you think about it. People we're adults now.
Shut your mouth, Flobo.
Oh, okay, I will. Goodbye, everybody.
Unacceptable. I saw a tweet about Gorilla Monsoon, and it said he is talking about how he passed away at 62 years old in 1999. And I was thinking to myself, I thought he was 62 years old in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. People did not age well.
And so I was like, wait a minute. He was 60. So that means he was like, oh my God, how old was he? It started to hit me a little bit, Flo.
Hey, now to be fair, men didn't really exfoliate. There wasn't turkey as an option, if you know what I'm saying. So,
man, oh man. Well, as far as see, Dylan Matthews is hitting on something that I'm thinking of. Gunther retiring Goldberg and Cena in the same year. So, now, going into the retirement tour, I said for a long time, I think The Rock should be the guy, or it should be some fun, historic thing. And I thought that John Cena should go out with a win because I think that he deserves it, whatever. But since it doesn't look like those things are going to happen, I've said, and I said this on Massive Heat, I look back to when Brock Lesnar became next level, when he became a guy who was obviously, he started next level, but when he really ascended, it was when he had that double whammy of ending the streak and then squashing John Cena at SummerSlam. It was like, bing, bing. Wow, this guy is absolutely a force that cannot be stopped. I think Gunther, if he is to retire Goldberg, go on to retire John Cena, and then I would actually even make it a hat trick. I would have him beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I think Gunther becomes your next Brock Lesnar in that case.
But he's already there, though.
He's not, though.
He won't get any kind of accolade on top of that. Is there anyone on the fence being like, I don't see it? Oh, he beat Cena? This changes everything. Like,
I think
he's already there.
You put Gunther across the ring from Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. I think these are all people that we go, I think Gunther's an underdog in those cases.
Interesting.
I think if you have him beat Goldberg, Cena, and then Brock Lesnar, now he's the guy that nobody beats. But right now, I don't think. I love Gunther as a fan. He's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, he's fantastic.
All-time, really?
If you're looking at,
I don't hate the idea, by the way. I don't hate the idea at all. I just feel like he doesn't need it.
Who needs anything?
No, but what I'm saying, okay, yeah, I get, it's wrestling. Who needs anything, bro? What I'm saying is, I like the idea. If it happened, I would not complain. I just feel like there's so many people that can get a lift that Gunther would not get because he's been so established.
I just think that's true, but I think you get that. Just like I don't think Brock needed to squash Cena at SummerSlam. If that SummerSlam happened and Brock Lesnar got just a basic win, a hard-fought win over Cena, I don't think Brock Lesnar becomes the man that we see today, where when his music hits, everyone scatters. I think that was a game changer for him. And I think making Gunther go through something like that makes him the game changer going forward.
This is totally a separate point. And I'm not trying to play underhanded here, but remember the time when Goldberg came out and squashed Brock Lesnar? Did your opinion change of Brock at all after that match?
No.
Yeah, I figured.
Because everything with Goldberg feels like it doesn't count in WWE. Not that it doesn't count, but like you kind of look, it's kind of like losing to Goldberg is a bit like losing a match in the old Crown Jewel era, Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel era, where it was
how dare you besmirch Crown Jewel, the premier event of the fall.
Like, is Braun Strowman the greatest Royal Rumble winner because he won the Royal Rumble?
He has a championship belt that we never saw again.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of, okay, but like, it doesn't hurt Kevin Owens that he lost to Goldberg. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay.
Fair enough.
That happens. But everyone in the chat, let us know what you think. I guess my last thing is, do you think if Cena's last match is not Brock Lesnar, do you think Brock Lesnar squashing Cena again kind of takes a little bit of the shine off the person who retires John Cena, since it's going to have been just a few months apart?
It's hard to say because we don't know what Brock's doing, right? If Brock never came back again, that's a different thing than him being on the WrestleMania trail. But it is kind of messy. Brock did come out of nowhere. Whether or not he deserved to be there or not, it's another issue. He did come out of nowhere. It was paused for a month because the Logan Paul match. He came back, destroyed Cena, and then Cena was like, I'm moving on to something else. Yo, AJ, let's have a tussle. So it does feel like a pocket universe,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Goldberg does next. The pocket universe thing is something that I think you first brought it to my attention with Cody Rhodes and AEW, how he was like a show within a show. And now I can't unsee certain wrestlers and things where I'm like, oh, this is a show within a show. It doesn't count against anything else. Goldberg, to that point, was one of those things where you're just like, oh, this is just a show within a show. It doesn't really count.
But Gunther retiring him does count.
Yeah, for that.
Okay.
I mean, on its own in a vacuum, if Gunther comes back and he loses 50% of his matches for the next 5 years, kind of like Austin Theory is a good example. Like, beating Cena mattered, But then he went on and did nothing. And then John Cena also continued to lose. You're like, okay, well, maybe that wasn't that special.
Right.
You know? So it'll kind of depend on how it plays out. But I want to talk about this week. We had a Battle of Titans on Tuesday night, which really threw my Wednesday off because I watched NXT just a little bit ago on before the show. It was weird to be watching NXT getting ready for Draped in Gold.
Yeah, NXT on a Wednesday, throwback.
Yeah, very strange times. But going into this, there's a lot of hoopla about what NXT was bringing to the table, what AEW was bringing to the table. Before we get into that, actually, first off, real quick, Dylan Matthews with a quick question. Where is Austin Theory? No idea. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if he's just off TV. Don't know what the deal is.
I believe he is hurt. As for what injury, I'm not sure.
But Flobo, we'll get into each show, and we'll talk about each show individually in a second. For now, I want to hear your overall compare and contrasts going into the shows and like what your thoughts were going into them, and then just overall thoughts on how they each performed.
Well, I think the head-to-head stuff is kind of fun, right? Like it's the idea of AEW in its own, and it's compared to its own creative is on an upswing, I believe. I don't think it's not quite the cachet it wants to be quite yet, but I think it's trending upward. And NXT had this TNA thing, talk about pocket universes, where NXT and TNA were working together. 3 weeks they weren't. And as we'll get to it, at the end of last night, it was like, guys, what a good time that was. Back to our regularly scheduled program next week. So it was kind of weird, but for those of the people who were going back and forth before channels, it was kind of a treat.
Yeah, going into it, you and I were texting, and we have our own preferences on the shows we tend to enjoy versus not enjoy. But
you're an NXT hater, yes?
Going into it, right now, kind of am. Yeah, if I'm being honest with you. Going into it, though, that said, I was like, NXT is going to blow AEW out of the water in ratings, at least, for not even just because of the day change, but it didn't feel like AEW really brought a lot to the marketing side of things. You know, when you have NXT doing, champion versus champion, winner take all matches, and you're having TNA versus NXT matches and Survivor Series things and all this other stuff versus an advertised match of Jon Moxley versus Ishii, I'm like, okay, this is, no disrespect to either of those guys, but we all knew how that one was going to go.
I did not see Darby Allin coming. I mean, never.
No, so Dylan Matthews says ratings haven't been released yet. They have not. I would bet the farm NXT won that. Even if I didn't know that they have won every week for the past few weeks anyways, and AEW is on a new time. I just felt like AEW didn't bring a lot to the table. That said, watching the shows, I rather enjoyed AEW show quite a bit more. I had a lot more fun watching that one than NXT. And I don't think NXT was a bad show. I actually thought it was a good show as well. But I thought AEW, the things that make AEW strong, I thought they brought to it. And that's what made it stand out. I just wish they could promote it as a way that feels like this. But
yeah.
Let's talk about AEW first, if you don't mind. I want to talk about AEW, like I said, better than I expected overall. I thought it was fun. I thought it was exciting. One of the fun things about AEW is, as it compares to WWE, is that it can sometimes be very unexpected. It can be sometimes very random and sometimes very chaotic. I like that in pro wrestling, so there's a lot of those things I really enjoy. A few points I want to talk to you about. I feel like you and I differ on this, but Adam Page, Samoa Joe, I loved their promo. I loved the back and forth. They felt real, like real people who really had issues and really want to win. They made the championship feel important. I know you're a character guy. I know you are. I know that I don't think you're. I don't know. I don't think you're the world's biggest Adam Page fan. I think you are a big Samoa Joe fan. Correct me if I'm wrong on either of these statements, but what did you think? How do you feel like they've done about building up to this Samoa Joe match at Wrestle Dream?
Net positive, yes. I think it works. I think it's intense. I think I understand what each guy wants. I mean, obviously the championship, but like what it means for them in their careers if they got that. So as it is, clinically, it works. The only minor gripe I had is that I forgot when Adam Page went through all his different iterations of Adam Page, it just kind of like opened up like oh yeah, he did burn down somebody's house. What the hell? Like, why am I cheering with this guy? But no, I think for Wrestle Dream is one of those pay-per-views that can run the risk of being seen as an also ran. I think that's the match you want to tune into, just because it's for the richest prize in the company. We love Samoa Joe historically. Adam Page is supposed to be the face of this new era, a new chapter in AEW, and he's supposed to be relatable. So it was fun.
It's going to be one of those matches where, again, going to the unpredictability factor where AEW is strong, because I feel like in no world should Adam Page be losing the championship just yet, especially to Samoa Joe at this point. But it's AEW. You never know. He might win the championship. You don't know. So that'll make it fun. I tweeted this, and I want your thoughts on it. And maybe we've talked about this before. Sorry if it's repetitive, but in another world, in another timeline where opportunities were a little different, we are talking about Samoa Joe as one of the greatest of all time, I think.
Yeah. It is a weird thing that Samoa Joe's legacy right now will be seen as basically being a journeyman because he's wrestled everywhere. But as far as his character work, his promo work, the fact that he can move around as a big guy for as long as it has, I think he's like in his mid-40s now. Like he should be in that conversation, in that top talents of all time, for sure.
Yeah, I think just for whatever reasons, opportunities being what they are, he didn't have a chance to be the top guy in WWE or he was a top guy in AEW, but I definitely think that I think there's not a weakness on him. I'm like, man, his matches are good. He's believable. He can tear anyone to pieces in a promo. This guy, if he was booked stronger somewhere else and he just had a few more accolades, which in wrestling is, I know what it is what it is. He'd be a best of all time.
But what is it though? Like, why is he like not top of mind? I think everyone likes Samoa Joe, but when we say who's your favorite wrestler, we go 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6 guys before Joe comes up. Like, what was missing, or what is missing?
It's the accolades. I mean, I always say, using a football analogy, Dan Marino was incredible, but he never won the Super Bowl, so no one talks about him as the best of all time.
Right.
And, that could be team, that could be coaching, that could be a million things that aren't even his fault. But sorry, that's just the way it is. And I think when him never being the WWE champion is something that prevents him from being in that conversation.
Imagine being a Drew Brees of wrestling.
I mean, it's the same thing with Sting. I think that Sting is someone, if he had won the WWE championship a few times, then he would be considered, I think some people call him the best of all time. If WCW won the ratings war and WWE went out of business, I think we'd talk about Sting as possibly the best of all time. But that's just the way history goes sometimes, and that it's not, there's nothing, it's nothing you can do or nothing you could have changed. It's just, that's just the way the cookie crumbled.
Oh, okay. All right, take a gander. I'm like, what kind of homespun thing? The way the cookie crumbles. I'm sorry. It's kind of random.
Sorry, I'm hungry. I want to have a cookie. I want to go sit on my porch and whittle some wood.
Right. It's 2 chicks with a lamb's tail, man.
But I do want to talk about opportunities. I want to talk about championships. One thing I took away from this AEW Dynamite was the street fight was super fun. I am ready for both, even though she had nothing to do with the street fight. I am ready for Willow, and I am ready for Lashley to be put in serious contention for the world championships. I'm not saying they need a championship shot right now, but like, we need to start seeing them put in situations where they're getting big wins, and getting us to that point where we're like, I'm ready for this to happen soon. I think I'm done with their side quests. I'm done with their tag team stuff. Both of them absolutely need to be in the world title conversation.
I'm with you on Willow more. Like, I think you're right. I'm with Willow more because when Silky Hathaway was talking about it this week, I'm like, are they still at odds? How long? It's like them and Darby Allin and Jon Moxley seem to be going on forever. I'm ready. Here is somebody who's unique. Here are some people they love her on the internet wrestling community. You got to pull the trigger because if you don't do that, no one's going to find her credible. It's going to be that nice guy at work. He's kind of wave tweeting way out there. I'm not saying that Lashley can't be in that position, but I feel like AEW has an issue with Lashley there, is that he still kind of feels like he's a WWE guy. I'm not sure why. He's doing everything differently. He's posing differently. They seem a little bit more on edge, but if you came out by himself doing the flexing, doing the spear, it would seem very much Vince coded.
I think that's okay. Personally, I get what you're saying, but I'm thinking if I'm if I'm trying to get the diehards, as they call it, or the sickos, as they call it, like what way to get under their skin more than to have someone who looks like a WWE casting 101, kind of character win the championship. I look at him. There's no one I can see standing next to him outside of Shelton Benjamin and think they have a chance. It's very Brock Lesnar in WWE at many times where I'm just like, dude, no, who could stand up to this guy? And that's a good thing if you have the world championship. It's a bad thing when he's dealing with TDP. I love it. Great callback. But when he's looking at like a Mark Briscoe or something, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, he should be in that conversation.
But that stands to reason, though, in a promotion that prides itself on in-ring fisticuffs and suffering from, especially in the mid card, us kind of knowing who's going to win a match before they even start ringing the bell. Will that even work? Having a dominant champion like Lashley holding the belt, or are we going to be kind of bored of it quickly?
Well, I would say you only have them in matches where you have a reason for it to not be too one-sided. I mean, maybe as he's building up to the world title, you have him in singles matches against, like I said, like a Mark Briscoe, and he just crushes him, and then have him in those matches with people like a Kyle O'Reilly, and he just crushes him, and you're building him up. But then once he's the champion, he only wrestles like on pay-per-view. Like, why are we having him wrestle on Dynamite? He's the champ. Wow. And then you only have him in matches against those top-level guys that you can justify giving him a tough match. The Will Ospreays, the MJFs, the Adam Pages, the Samoa Joes. And I mean, give me Samoa Joe versus Bobby Lashley. What are we doing here? Let's go.
I don't hate the idea. I just feel like the fickle wrestling fans will get bored of that super quickly, like they did the Death Riders.
It could happen. I think when you've got MVP. I think MVP is a bit more pliable of a manager and character to make it work. And the problem with the Death Riders, I think why people got sick of it, is because they're so hard-lined. It's like, this is what you're getting all the time. Jon Moxley's not someone who would negotiate or do different things for whatever reason, where because of the character of like an MVP, I could see him saying, oh, we'll make X amount of money if you face one person, Lashley, but we're here to make money. And if you do a triple threat, you'll make even more money or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just making up an example, but because business plays into it as opposed to just dominance, that opens up a lot of things to keep things fresh without breaking the character, as opposed to just, I'm Jon Moxley, I'm going to hide the championship in a suitcase as long as I can.
Well, yeah, I guess compared to that, everything sounds a lot more interesting than putting the title in the suit. You'll never see it. More things happen, Jack. You'll never beat me.
Last thing about AEW, and there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about on NXT. We got to talk about Pac's new look. Break down. This is the Flobo's Closet fashion runway. I have no music or video package, but
oh man,
let's do it. Like, imagine like camera flashes, like it's Flobo's fashion closet.
Only OGs like Dylan Matthews knows how this segment became like a mutation of 4 other segments. Pac is back. I guess it looks that way. I mean, he's still a bastard for some reason. Didn't really work out a problem with his mom and dad. But I told you the group chat, he is aggressively generic. It's like a really, really tough looking average guy. Is that the point? I'm not sure what to take from it.
Yeah, it feels like the new gear. Look, I'm never going to fault someone for trying new gear. Sometimes
you should.
the gear absolutely looks like your default character when you first start a career mode in WWE 2K. It looks like before you've unlocked all the other stuff. The thing that bothers me the most, this is going to sound weird, but whatever. Like, look how jacked this dude is. Why is he covering up? Like, if I was built like Pac, I would walk around in my underwear everywhere I go. I would go.
You're not built like Pac. You still do that.
I'd go to the dentist in my underwear if I was built like Pac.
Mr. Farmer, your appointment's tomorrow. I'm here now.
You're welcome. Dude, Pac is jacked. Have you
25 abs?
Dude, he looks like, speaking of 2K, when you pick just the most ripped possible character, as I always do, like just absolutely incredible. So I don't know why he's covering. Like, dude, you've got 140 abs and you're covering them up with a tank top. Though the tank top does give you one thing, Flobo.
Room to eat cookies?
No, it gives you this.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? Taking the straps off.
If he's doing that, then that's a whole different era.
I have to do something a little sad though. Flobo.
Okay. Well,
and I was dreading this the whole show, but I have strict rules, and I am bound to a moral and ethical code. Do you know where I'm going with this?
No. What morals? What ethics?
It's hard to do this. I don't know the last time I had to do this, but I have to do it here. I am formally kicking Pac out of the Thigh Guys because he covers his thighs and therefore is disqualified from membership. As soon as he goes back to the old trunks, he's back. Fine, that's all you got to do. But for now, Flobo, I have a rule. I gotta live by. I can't break rules for one person. Otherwise, everyone's gonna want in.
Yeah, no one's above the rules and laws, and I completely understand. It's a tough decision to make, and hopefully he recovers. But it's a sad day indeed.
Yeah, and so the Thigh Guys down a person.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
Of course, Adam Page still the only person in the Chaps.
Oh no! Stop. You guys talking about Chaps an alarming amount. It's something I'll never forget.
If someone else wears some Chaps, they can join the Chaps. But for now, they're
just him and Trish Stratus.
It's actually, he's just a Chap, I guess.
Yeah, it's only
one
Chap.
of them.
No thanks.
Shout out to TK's Boudoir and Christian's Closet.
Boothing of the week as well, too.
Boothing of the week. And what was Jim's called? Jim's Kingdom?
King's Court.
King's Court, that's right.
And then On the Runway on the AEW show.
On the Runway, yes.
Yeah.
So many.
The same segment, two different names. The same fucking segment.
Samoa Watchman says he has 142 abs. He came out of the womb doing crunches.
Hey.
King Thigh Guy, Yokozuna, he covered his thighs. Doesn't count. Can't be a thigh guy. Sorry.
It's a rule.
I make the rules, but sometimes they're hard to enforce.
Is he a calf guy?
I do got to say, going back to the TK's Boudoir and Christian's Closet, the time I lost it the most ever in a wrestling show was when Jessica O'Connor shouted out Britt Baker for the best outfit and used a picture of her just flattened on the mat.
Yeah, she looked like a corpse. She's like, it looks good, right? You're like,
it looked like a cartoon. Her leg was bent.
There's a Family Guy, Peter Griffin, like
what it absolutely was. We couldn't talk for like 3 minutes. I was laughing so hard. It was
that poor girl.
The most unprofessional thing I've ever done. I gotta go find that video and cheer myself up again. Let's talk about NXT. NXT, contrary to everything I just said, was a really good show. To me, my favorite moment of the night, the Hardy Boys winning the NXT championships. I'm a huge fan of legends building legacies. And so I love seeing someone like the Hardy Boys add another championship to their legacy, one that they've never held before. I'm a big fan of this. Did you like this? What were your thoughts on the Hardy Boys winning the NXT championships?
I necessarily cared about the Hardy Boys winning or the Hardys winning because, again, it's like they're already made and Dark State kind of need the titles. But I will say I was more glad that TNA Talent took some NXT championships because that was a concern we had on the show a couple weeks ago. It was like, is it really a partnership if everything has been taken from TNA? So again, I'm not sure why it would need to be a title match. I don't understand the logic as to why Dark State's like, come on, Hardy Boys, we're going to beat you up. But hey, look, the match was solid. The Hardys still kind of have it. They love them in the CWC. It was great.
Do you think, and of course, you know where I'm going to go with this afterwards, but for now, we talk about legacy in the world's top tag teams of all time conversation. Does adding the NXT championships to their resume move the Hardys up? Do you think in best tag teams of all time, or do you think this is kind of like I don't want to say garbage time points, but like is it kind of like
it's hard to say that now in 2025. The NXT Tag Team Championships don't really have much weight, even though ironically NXT is older and therefore should have more prestige. But if it was a tag team division of the 18 and 19, even some of the 17, where it really was the best tag team wrestling before the advent of AEW, then yes, it would have meant a whole lot more if it was, FTR or the Revival or DIY taking on the Hardy Boys then.
Yeah, I want to say garbage time isn't the right word because I feel like it sounds like I'm calling their career right now garbage, and that's not what I mean. Of course, there's a phrase in football where, when you're near the end of the game and people are scoring points because it doesn't really matter as much anymore. It does matter to them, and I think it matters in general. I guess what I really mean is because they have so many championships, does this one mean like change their legacy, or is it already so cemented by
they're personally done, they're made men. But again, I like the fact that TNA got something this week.
So I want to ask you this, and I want everyone in the chat and everyone in the comment section, hit the comment section. It made me think of best tag teams of all time, Flobo, and of course I tried to guess your best tag teams of all time. You, being the professional, did not tip your hand in any way.
Because I hate lists. You know this about me. You still ask me to make lists.
It's not a list because it's in no particular order. In no particular order. But we know what order you're going to say them in.
A grocery list is no particular order, but it's still a list.
That's why I have a grocery paragraph. It's very difficult to read.
I will turn down aisle 4 and pick up some eggs. Okay.
And then I will say, that's right. I need grapes. So I want to know, and everyone in the chat and everyone in the comments, I want to know your top 3 tag teams of all time. I will start with mine to help break the ice.
Now, when you say all time, you mean the entirety of history of wrestling, or just like you personally, your favorites? Are you saying like the best or your favorites?
The best.
Okay, go ahead.
I go. The Dudley Boys I think is the number 1. I think that's a safe pick because they've won so many championships in so many places. Yada yada
Booker
yada.
T says ECW titles don't count because they're regional, dog.
That is
Harlem needs one more.
That is a fantastic argument, by the way. That is an argument maybe we'll have to have at some point. I love that comment for multiple reasons. I love for multiple reasons because it's also just 2 tag team champions squawking at each other. I go Dudley Boys. Steiner Brothers were probably my favorite tag team to watch.
Wow.
And I have always considered them the best for a long, long time. But then the Road Warriors, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't actually get to watch a lot of them in their prime, but growing up, I just loved the look. I'll be honest. I was just more so than their actual wrestling. I couldn't really talk about their wrestling as much as I was just like, the guys with the spikes and the paint, they're so cool.
Right. Demolition. I get it. Yeah. No.
So, yeah. Demolition was always a little too bondage looking to me. So,
and Road Warriors were not?
No, Road Warriors were not. No one bonds the Warriors.
They're literally Lord Humongous colors. Are you sure?
No, the LOD was Legion of Doom. Demolition was literally like Lord Humongous.
I mean, in design, but I mean the red was definitely Legion of Doom.
Well, you wouldn't say Toni Storm is Lord Humongous because she has red.
No, but I mean the spike. I mean, look, all I'm saying is, if I brought that to the bedroom, I would never leave. Here comes what a rush.
And if my girl cut her hair like Animal,
why do we not have a Bluetooth sponsorship? That's we need one of those, man.
Ouch. Before you give your answer, we got a couple of great answers here. The Samoa Watchman saying the Wild Samoans, the Steiners, and the Legion of Doom. Killer Demons saying Midnight Express, Freebirds, and Legion of Doom. I'm a Road Warriors guy, not a Legion of Doom guy. They're the Road Warriors.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you include Road Warrior Heidenreich?
Only if it helps the conversation.
It's such a deep cut.
Not really. I don't include Road Warrior draws either.
Oh, was he? No, he's Puke. Was he Puke?
He made him Puke. I can't remember what he was,
Road
but he was a honorary Road Warrior for a minute, wasn't he?
I believe so, but I think he was Puke then. I think draws came afterwards.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I don't. I only count the Road Warriors Prime.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. Let's see. I totally was gonna do this as my favorite tag team. I hate lists because everyone judges you by them. But
that's the point. That's the fun.
That's why I hate
then you gotta fight them off.
Well, my favorite ones, and yeah, I think you got most of them right between our group chat and now. I would say the Dudleys. I actually broke my finger a couple weeks ago, and I wish I had my middle finger taped up like Devon's.
Oh wow!
Because it is kind of funky looking. But Devon, Dudley, the Testify. The New Day, of course, the most decorated tag team of all time. Not the Dudley Boys. And one of my favorites in the past 10 years, The Bar. The Bar, to me, I'm not a big tag team wrestling guy, but The Bar totally drew me back into tag team wrestling. So
The Bar. That's awesome. Yeah. Those are your favorites, not the best.
Those are my favorites. Yeah, no one's going to say The Bar is their favorite. They were a tag team for 2 years. When it comes down to tag team, you got to put the Rockers in there. I would say,
really? Okay,
yeah, because they were all about the culture, man. They're connected with the fans, and that's Shawn Michaels and that Janetti. What a dreamboat! I'm with you on the Hardys. I think the Hardys are also very influential that time period, and I'm not going to say Edge and Christian, even though they would be either without Edge about because Edge is on that team and Christian did all the work, Wow, that's kind of hard. The last one of all time, Harlem Heat. Why not?
I'm
not a big WCW guy, but Harlem Heat matches are always fun.
Love that answer. I'm a huge Harlem Heat fan. I love them. They were probably my fourth team if I added a fourth one. I will say I don't like certain picks, like the New Day or the Freebirds. Not a big fan. If you're a Freebird rule team, I feel like you don't count. You're cheating.
What do you mean? The Natural Born Thrillers didn't cheat.
They're not on my list either.
Well, they should.
And the Natural Born Thrillers cheated all the time. That was it.
Yeah,
that was their shtick.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I don't like that. I don't like that you can have three people. It makes it a little unfair to me. But
how's it unfair?
Because you have combinations that don't like there was a whole run. I think it was Kofi and Big E had the championships for a whole run that Xavier Woods was never even on TV for, but he was injured. So it shouldn't count. That's a different team. I think if you break it up as Kofi and Big E as a team, or Kofi and Woods as a team, or Woods and Big E as a team, that
so you mean to tell me
you can't. The three-way doesn't count.
You mean to tell me that if a team wins a Super Bowl, the second string QB does not get a ring because he's second string? He's a reserve.
I think if you have, but they only have 52 players. If you have a team that's playing with 60 players, then no, you don't get to.
They're not playing with 60 players. Everyone's been drafted on that team. They've been signed as that team. And that two people are starters and one is a reserve.
But they have the same amount of players on their team as everyone else. This tag team has more players on their team. It's
But
not a
what I'm saying is, if it's a tag team matchup, and today it's wrestler A and B, and then next week is B and C, they've selected the 2 people who are going to participate from that team. It should count.
But it's different.
Is the Shield a tag team or no?
It's a different. No,
the Shield is a tag team. Okay.
Well, no, I'll say this: they are a tag team, but they are disqualified from best tag team. I wouldn't say they're the best. I wouldn't put them on any best tag team list.
You animal! Your thigh guy rules. You've been drunk with power. It's a team.
You could tell I was drunk with power when I tried to make the Chaps.
Yeah, and we didn't stop the show then. So,
for those of you who stuck with us past the Chaps,
what are we doing, man?
Speaking of teams, and I do want to say, so we had some Survivor Series matchups. I want to know your thoughts on this. I love Survivor Series matchups.
I hate them.
I think they're fun to watch. Did you feel differently? You still hated these?
Okay, so for some backstory. So I know I'm of the age where I'm supposed to like traditional Survivor Series matches. I just never got them. I felt like the Survivor Series match and pay-per-view has we have outgrown it as a fan base. And they know that too. Because remember, it was bragging rights for a couple of years. Now it's war games for a couple of years. So I like the fact they're still experimenting with the format. The problem is, on this show, I've argued with you back and forth for months about how the TNA NXT relationship is good because everyone gets to be risen, we see more talent. But these 2 matches didn't make a lick of sense. The teams being selected, who was on each side, the storylines happening in between there, the false comeback from Ricky Saints. It was an absolute train wreck. Now, sometimes train wrecks are great, but I'm on a wrestling podcast. I got to talk about it. So I'm like, actually, now that you explain it with words, it is kind of silly. Like, why? So it was great when I was watching it, but I don't know how to defend it because it was just so messy. And then at the end of the show, having Santino Abra being like, "Yep, that was fun. So next week, back to being normal." It was like such a kick in the face, man.
Yeah, that extra last scene was very unnecessary to end on. Like it should have, if it was going to end, it should have ended with the tenseness or something, not just like a thanks. I like the Survivor Series matches. I think they're fun. I thought it would have been hilarious, by the way, if you said, if you're going to have 2 teams face each other, it's 2-on-2 tag teams. I don't like more than 2 people on a team.
I'm a stickler for that.
Would have cracked me up. But the problem I had with the Survivor Series teams matches, first off, I agree. I think there's it doesn't make sense. A lot of TNA people on NXT teams and NXT people on TNA teams, stuff that I figured they would have figured out back in Invasion. Doesn't work very well. But also it kind of is the thing that WWE's had a problem with lately. And that is, I understand why they do it, but they build in a reason for someone to lose before the match even starts. Like, I did not like Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace being guest referees. I don't think it was necessary. I get wanting them on TV, but I think if you wanted them in the match, they should have just been in the match instead of, used to that capacity, because it felt like as soon as it happens, like, oh, well, this match is just going to end in there's going to be a bunch of shenanigans that end the match anyways. And I get, again, why you do that. You protect teams and you protect people and all that stuff, but it just takes the fun. For me, I want to see a real winner. And I feel like WWE has gotten really bad about like, Judgment Day is going to get involved here, or, you bumped into Lexus King on your way to the match, and he's like, I'm going to get you for that. Okay, he's going to clearly get involved in the match. Stop doing that, Jack. Dang. And so that kind of took me out of it a little bit, as opposed to just getting to see like which team is going to win. And again, I think it would have been better if it was pure TNA versus pure NXT, not even like Trick as TNA champion on, you know what I mean? I think it should have just been, I would have much preferred just straight up matches and a straight up winner. I don't know if anyone would have looked bad or good afterwards. I think it would have just been,
yeah, it should have been. And again, I hate doing the whole, like, if I was in charge, I'll probably run wrestling into the ground. Like, right. I should not be a creative person.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go, man. All I want are just, I don't know. I don't want same-as matches every hour. It really should have been, because they've been working together for so long, it should have been like a friendly rivalry. Just kind of like a fun prop bet kind of a thing. Almost like the spin the wheel thing you do for Halloween Havoc. And I'll be fine with it. But you went through all the trouble to do we're not standing for you, Trick Williams and his whole thing. only to have these matches and to say, okay, yeah, that was kind of fun. We worked it out. Let's see you next week. I was kind of like, well, why even pick a side? Like, why be invested in that? And so those are hard to defend. But that said, I still think the partnership is great. I love the fact they're priming Santana to be the guy, even though I'm worried that people will be bored of him soon. I love the characters being involved. It's a good time. It's just hard to defend story-wise.
Yeah, I've said before, they're veering very far into the category that AEW got a lot of, back talk for, which is like looking at next week, we've got TNA wrestler on, we've got AAA championship on the line, a lot of outside stuff, which can be fun, but it also gets to like, but who are these people? Why do I care about this match and whatnot? That said, again, I think it was a fun show. It's just, we're nitpicking this
Ethan
stuff.
Page, man, keeps rolling.
Oh, that's what we got to say before we go. Ethan Page, Ali, banger of a mashup. Awesome. Both guys knocked out of the park. And that shove off the turnbuckle, my God, how crazy was that? This was one I love, Flobo. I didn't have it in my notes, and I know we got to kind of wrap up soon, but slam dunk there, right?
Ethan Page is holding together NXT's men division with his duct tape and Canadian pride, and I love it.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I was like, man, Ali needs to get signed again. I don't know what his contract with TNA looks like or whatever, but that dude looks like $1 million, wrestles great, can
his
talk. His intro is fan. Oh, I loved it when he would go hard. I was like, yeah. That is one of my favorite workout songs, by the way. And I was like, man, they better add that back to Spotify. Come on.
I know it's one of your favorites. Where you're, I'm gonna go in the room machine. I'm gonna go hard.
Dude, it was so good. I was like, I put on my glitter lit up mask and go hard.
Is you the Chaps? Is it
just me, my Chaps with the thighs exposed.
Leave the dude.
I want to shout out Omar, by the way, for joining us. Appreciate you coming through, Omar, and appreciate the kind words. We're here every Wednesday. Hopefully you come on back and join us next week. We got to get through these Crown Jewel predictions, Flobo. And everyone in the chat and comments, let us know. You're not excited about Crown Jewel?
It's in Perth. I love Australia, but Perth.
I love how on this show we hate everywhere.
Yeah, in Baltimore. Perth in Baltimore.
Everywhere we go, like, that town.
Yeah. Bring it banned worldwide.
Let's start at the beginning of the show. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Who you got? We talked about how great this rivalry was earlier. Who do you got?
Oh, even though I can go on record for years hating the name, I got to give it to Asuka and Kairi Sane. Because frankly, what is a Kabuki Warrior? Isn't that Kabuki like a form of dance? Like a form of theater?
I think it's a form of theater.
Okay, so if I was like a breakdance admiral, can I do that? Like
breakdance admiral?
Like what is a Kabuki war? Okay, anyway, not the point.
The breakdance admirals versus the Thigh Guys is the next War Games.
It's a dumb name, but they're gonna win the match. Is what I'm getting at. I think they're gonna win the match. I love the storyline. Like the fact that Io is still conflicted. It makes sense. But I swear to you, breakdance admirals. That should be the new name.
Yeah, I think Kabuki Warriors win as well because that story's not over. And I think if they lose, then it's a little bit like, what are they even doing here anymore? Simone Watchman asks, how do we join the Thigh Guy Club? Well, the way you join the Thigh Guys, it's only for the wrestlers with the best thighs in wrestling. But here's the rule. You got to have gear that exposes the thighs. You can't wear pants. You can't wear long tights. If you're hiding your thighs, then you're not proud of the thighs. You don't get to be in the Thigh Guy Club. So, and when I say cover, I mean, Big E doesn't count because he covers some of it. You got to have just the underoos.
He shows a lot of meat, though. Let's be real. It's not like he's like wearing pants.
Oh, I wish he just.
You wish what, sir? What?
I wish
what?
I wish he could be in the Thigh Guys, but there's a rule. There's a rule, you know.
All right.
Tyler Bate is the leader of the Thigh Guys. You got Drew McIntyre. You got Randy Orton. Pac used to be in there. Miles Bourne. Yeah, it's the best thighs in the game. That's what. And no girls allowed. It's the Thigh Guys. That's the no girls allowed. So.
I'm so glad I'm not in this club.
It's old clubhouse rules. No girls allowed.
Oh, that'll fly very well.
And the chaps, you just gotta wear chaps.
You could be a girl and be a chap.
Yep. You could be
Okay,
anyone
enough.
who wears chaps is a chap. Australian street fight: Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed.
What's that
Flobo,
even mean? What's an Australian street fight? Is it like a regular street fight, or are there going to be like Australian weapons around?
Fortunately for us, we have our own Australian. If he's still in the chat, Dylan Matthews. What are the rules of an Australian street fight as opposed to a regular street fight? I think it's I just blanked out on the what's the thing they put on like sandwiches and stuff that
Vegemite?
Vegemite, yeah.
Well, actually, I don't hate Vegemite. It's fine.
You got to eat Vegemite, and the person that gives up first from eating Vegemite.
Dude, if I was Australian and there was a Vegemite submission match, I would be offended. I'm like, hey, our culture's more than that.
I'd lose. I wouldn't do very well.
Hey, it's not that bad. You know what it is? It's like it doesn't know if it wants to be sweet or savory. So it's like weird, but not terrible.
Dylan Matthews says, first rule about Thigh Guy Club, don't talk about thigh guys. And he says you got to be drunk for the street fight.
Aussie.
Okay. Who's winning it?
It should be Roman because he gets beat up all the time. But again, they're going to make sure we care about this vision, even though I don't. So it has to be Bronson Reed. He missed the last time they were in Perth, and so he gets his receipt. But I'm not going to like it. Bronson Reed's my choice.
I think Roman Reigns wins because he has been getting beaten pillar to post every time he's out there. And I think he's in danger of becoming late period John Cena if he doesn't get a win here. Where beating him doesn't mean anything anymore. And I got a feel Roman's going to go through the vision. So probably beat Bronson and then move on to Braun Breaker and then maybe get on to Seth Rollins in the end.
Does he get his shoes back? Or
I hope not. I like the Tribal Thief.
Wow.
Dylan Matthews sticking with the hometown hero, Bronson.
Kind of missed the days when he was colossal Bronson Reed, not big Bronson Reed.
That's another great workout. I'm war ready. I'm battle tested. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena versus AJ Styles.
It's funny because AJ needs to win. It's just a weird place to be in. I mean, John Cena is someone you want to see win all the time, especially after losing to Brock Lesnar. But AJ Styles, I think, has a little bit more in the tank. He has a couple more years. But I do think a win over John Cena takes us back, not us back, but I guess the Gen Z's back to the SmackDown Live era of the face that runs the place, Chat runs the camp. It should be AJ.
AJ has said he's only got 1 year left. Though that's a pro wrestler saying they're almost done, which happens every week. So who knows how serious he is about that.
It's like a rock band. We got 3 more songs and then 6 more encores.
I think John Cena wins. He just came off getting brutalized by Brock Lesnar. If John Cena loses this one, what's even the point?
Yeah, his legacy is ruined. Tear down all the banners.
Just tear. We're done here. No, I just like, how many more matches does he have? 2 after this one?
About 2 or 3.
So if he's got 2 more matches left, then he's got to get some wins. Otherwise, that last match is pointless. Not pointless, but like beating him no longer means anything. Okay. Kayla says, a friend of the show, Kayla, says, Kabuki, meaning song, dance, skilled warriors, and the moves these ladies make look like ballerinas.
It doesn't invoke any kind of fear. It looks like someone... You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me when people open up a Mexican restaurant and they're clearly not Mexican, and they'll say things like "El burro borracho." You're like, I get what it means. It's
just delicious.
It's just, it makes no sense. Like, why would anyone call themselves a kabuki warrior? It's like someone who's studying in school, you know?
I feel like it sounds almost like the opposite, where it sounds like the Irish guy that calls himself the Shamrock Fighter. Where you're like
the jazz gangsters. That's
okay. Like,
yeah, like, get shamrocked.
Yeah. I'm from Tacoma, Washington. It's like myself calling like I'm the apple champion or something. Like, okay.
I like it, man. No, it makes sense. When I think of apples, I think of Jack Farmer.
It's the Starbucker.
Ew, kick his ass.
WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship match. Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Vaquer. Who you got?
I don't. Is it the ring they're fighting for? Or the big championships again?
I think it's the big championship again.
I think Tiffany Stratton wins this one. As much as I like Stephanie Vaquer, it feels like only one winner per brand wins, and so I'm picking the SmackDown side to win the women's match.
Dylan says Stephanie, and it ain't even close.
It should be Stephanie, but I think Tiffany wins this one, just because of the other side.
It does feel like it should be Stephanie. I think it's going to be Stephanie because I think they're about to throw the rocket on her. I mean, any more than they already have. I mean, she's the champion, so I don't know how much more rocket she can get, but I think they're going to continue to rocket this person into the stratosphere. And yeah, I don't know. I hate these matches, by the way. I hate this championship. I feel like we spent years complaining about Survivor Series being or bragging rights or whatever where they do brand versus brand. And everyone's like, I can't wait till Vince is gone and we're done with this. And you know, Triple H is like, yeah, we're done with this stuff. And it's like, anyway, it's time for the Crown Jewel Championship.
Yeah, I don't you don't defend it and no one talks about it. Like, I'm not even sure what it's for. Even the King of the Ring, you can argue is the exhibition, but you can say, I won the King of the Ring. But Cody's never like 2-time. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
It's just it's silly. I don't like it. And the build is always kind of boring too. Though I think they did a pretty good job for the men's side. I not into it.
WrestlePalooza kind of blew them up. I mean, that PLE was added way too late, so everything just seems crushed now, storyline wise. But for what they had to do, it's fine. Yeah,
and it's really weird because you can tell they have so many stories that they're like, as soon as this is over, Crown Jewel's over, we're gonna go back to this other thing. Like even CM Punk even was basically like, and don't forget, I'm not done with Seth Rollins.
Right.
Just FYI, I'm gonna get back to that in just a minute.
It's a random tag team match with LA.
He's like, Kanye's like, I'm going to let you finish CM Punk
Right.
first. Anyways, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. This one actually is pretty interesting. I think they've done a good job of adding stakes to it. But who do you think walks out the winner?
I think talking about that 3-0 kind of put the mark on Cody to lose. Seth Rollins, again, back to the division, hasn't really worked as a group. You have to give the division some kind of heat. And if you have Bronson losing to Roman and you have, in my opinion, Tiffany Stratton winning on the SmackDown side, then the Raw side should be Seth Rollins.
I think it's got to be Seth Rollins. You're right, because if he loses again, first off, he's already kind of a weak champion. Now, you know Seth Rollins is one of my favorites, and I think I think he's a Hall of Famer and all that. I'm not putting him down, but because he won the way he won the championship, and it's not like he hasn't been presented as the strongest, most unbeatable champion. He lost just recently in the tag team match with against CM Punk. I think he has to win this one. I got a feeling, and I'm not the first one who said this, I got a feeling someone like Brock Lesnar may get involved, which then makes things a little wonky with him and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, disrespectful to Seth Rollins, by the way. Has never been disrespectful to one of his clients like he is to Seth Rollins. I got a feeling that Brock will get involved in some way, which will help Seth get the win, but he's not going to like how.
I would love to see Brock Lesnar fit in a Jetstar flight from Sydney to Perth to get there on time. Just, I don't see it. I don't see him being there. I don't see Brock Lesnar there at all. Just, he wouldn't even do it.
I think they got to have something to spice it up, because otherwise this is kind of a flat show.
Well, it's supposed to be a flat show. What they'll do is they slow it down. They'll add aerial shots. They'll have an hour of pregame, and it's supposed to feel good after that.
You're right.
Yeah. Get Travis Scott in the beat. All right.
Travis Scott. Maybe Travis Scott.
Fall.
What would you do if Travis Scott helped Seth Rollins get the win?
I would pop, but the world would hate it.
I would actually kind of pop for it. I'd be like, oh, these guys.
You thought Santos Escobar reciting was crazy. What about Travis Scott, man?
I'd kind of respect him for it if they did it. I would hate it, but I'd also be a little bit like, oh my God, I can't believe
I'm on board. I'm on board. Can't get The Rock, get Travis Scott.
Oh my goodness. KOD says going with Seth, Stephanie, AJ Styles, Rio as the name, and Roman there. And then Dylan says, I think EO turns on Rio also. Interesting. So anyways, those were some interesting conversation here. Flobo, we are done. We're past our hour. We're overtime. But we will have an overrun until the match has finished.
We're out of time.
Any final thoughts? Where can we find you online? All that good stuff.
I mean this with all due respect. I know I rag on Perth, but if Perth is going to host a PLE, they deserve something better. I hope Crown Jewel gets retired just because it's kind of a torpedo in the middle of the calendar. But what do I know? I'm a guy that watches wrestling. My name is Flobo Boyce. I have a blog. It's called justasandwich.com. But otherwise, I'm usually on that Twitter at Flobo Boyce or on that Blue Sky at Flobo Boyce as well.
And I'm with you. I think they should even just rename, like, even if I think if they want to do a big super show this time of year, cool. But I feel like the Crown Jewel name even has a little bit of baggage to it that they could probably just move on from the name Crown Jewel. And these Crown Jewel championship matches, I think we just need to move on from. I don't like this kind of thing. So I'm sure it'll be a fun show, and I'm sure a lot of fun stuff will come from it, but not into it. You can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media and see all the cool stuff I'm doing, all the super cool stuff I'm doing. God, you're missing out. But everyone, like, comment, share, subscribe. That does it for us. Flobo, say some words.
I'm out, and the Yankees have been eliminated, so I'm happy. Let's go. Is that your dog, Manchego?
This is Bree, and she also is saying goodbye. This is it for all of us. Goodbye. Woo.
Chap, chap.